I think it's very important that we focus on how do we ensure that all kids, including kids who are learning English as a second language, really have the preparation to be college and career ready.
They are a sizable portion of our public school population.
We can't afford to lose any single child in this country and allow that child to fall off track.
We're in the midst of an unprecedented kind of geographic redistribution of population in this country, from the Northeast and the Midwest to the West and the South. We're talking about a profound transformation in our society that undergirds this whole discussion about English learners and the importance of investing in and ensuring that they get a high-quality education.
Those of us who have been involved working with Latino and bilingual and English learner education have known for a long time is how large and growing and how fast-growing this student population is in our public schools.
At least in the major cities, in the 67 big city school districts that are represented in the Council of the Great City Schools, some 30% of all English learners in the country are concentrated. We have enormous numbers of students who are learning English for the very first time in our classrooms, and part of our responsibility as educators and as Americans is to welcome these individuals, these students, and to equip them with the academic skills that they need in order to be successful and to contribute to our nation, our culture, and our economy.
We need a skilled workforce, we need a skilled citizenry, we need an informed citizenry to ensure that the health of America in all ways is kept strong. And so for that reason, it's not just a moral imperative, but it's also an economic imperative that we make sure that English learners, like all kids, are prepared for the increasingly robust and demanding economy that we're going to be putting kids into, and ensuring that they are getting the education that they need and making sure that this is benchmarked to world-class standards is absolutely critical.
I think the nice thing about the standards is that it's forcing all of us to take a step back and say, what does this really mean? How do we get all students to achieve those standards, to get a high ability level on those standards, including English language learners? We desperately need diverse students going into higher education. It's incredibly important that the richness of our diversity that you see across the country is exemplified in higher education studies, ultimately in all fields of study.
So ensuring that they, along with everyone, are ready and meeting high levels of achievement, ready for colleges, ready for careers, ready to play an important role in our society, in our workplaces in the coming years, is important not only for those children, which should be in and of itself make it important enough, but that they need to be prepared in order to enrich and indeed continue the success of our whole society.
It's not just socially and morally the correct thing to do, but at the end of the day, it's enlightened self-interest for us because, again, we're an aging population. We're going to need that young talent in the years ahead to pay for Social Security and to pay for, pay taxes into our system at the local and state level and the federal level. And so the competitiveness argument is what I make, and I think most of corporate America gets it because they recognize that they're going to need the talent down the road. We have to get our elected officials to understand the same thing, that our ability to thrive and prosper and to compete in the highly volatile global economy of the 21st century hinges upon making sure that we have educational policies that create equal opportunity of access for all of our kids, including English learners.
I know that when I think of myself, in 20 or 30 years, I want to make sure that there's a workforce coming up behind me who can provide the kind of quality employment opportunities, who can lead our cities, who can engage in the economy at high levels, and education is the key to that.
We're going to need the talent in the English learner population to propel our nation in the years ahead, so it becomes a form of enlightened self-interest for us to invest in them and to make sure that they get a quality education.